Hi geeks, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing the spoiler review for Suicide Squad. I already did my non-spoiler review, which I will leave in the description box below if you want to check that out. If you haven't seen the film, be warned for spoilers, but if you have seen the film, let's discuss. So in this video I'm just going to be talking about the characters in depth, going by character, but going into spoiler territory. So let's get started. I really thought that this video was going to be overdue because, it's been ages since the films came out, but it's still in the news, it's still going strong, it's still going strong at the box office, and, everyone's just loving it. So the first character I'm going to talk about is El Diablo. He was such an interesting character. I really did like his character. He had some great scenes, a great backstory, and when he turned into that fire god, that was amazing. The fight that he had with Enchantress's brother was class, and his power set was so cool as well, and he was a bit vulnerable using it as well because he knew how powerful he was. But when he died, I was really annoyed because that's one interesting character gone. I don't know why they wouldn't save him for another film and get rid of another character. I think he might come back like a Phoenix out of the ashes type situation, which would be really cool to see. But yeah, his character was awesome. Katana. She needs her own TV show immediately. She was such a fascinating character. I really liked her, and her backstory and the Japanese style of it was absolutely amazing. I would love to see that expanded into a 13-episode series or something. That would be really cool because even though we didn't see a lot of her and she was kind of a wasted character, what we did see was fantastic. And the Soul Taker sword was so great. What she did with that was amazing. We saw her talking to her dead husband, but that was about it really. The scene when she was holding it and all the skulls and the souls were coming out, we didn't see that scene, which is a bit annoying, which I want to get to the scenes that were cut out in a bit. Killer Croc. The prosthetics on him were absolutely out of this world. Each individual skill was fantastic, and his eyes were really cool. The way they glowed in the dark, I loved that. But when he talked, that was really off-putting because, with all the prosthetics, he couldn't move his mouth properly and his voice was just really weird. But a cool thing about him was when he was in the water, he moved really cool, like a crocodile. Enchantress. I love the look of Enchantress so much, and her heart looked really cool as well. It was mixed with twigs and branches all crudely tied together. It was like something out of The Last Witch Hunter, and I really did like the witches out of The Last Witch Hunter. They look really cool. I would love to see more witches like that because they're like my favourite type of witches, if you know what I mean. And I liked what Cara Delevingne brought to the character, but I definitely think that she needs to find her own acting style and her own way of acting because right now she hasn't really found it, and she's good, she's just not great, and she really needs to get in touch with her acting abilities and find out which one is best for her, because in this film she did a great job but it just wasn't good enough. And I know she wants to be an actress, and she can be a really great actress if she just finds the right acting style for her, which I'm sure she can. Captain Boomerang was really funny. He was a comic relief in the film. He was a bit of a twat, but he was like the comic relief. Really funny. You wouldn't think that he would be so cool with a boomerang, but he was. But the same with Slipknot, who was the most wasted character. Slipknot was only in there to let the other members know that they will die. But actually, speaking of Captain Boomerang, the Flash cameo was absolutely amazing. When I saw it, I was so excited. I was so excited because it's the first time we see Ezra Miller on the big screen before Justice League. Amanda Waller. Absolutely loved Amanda Waller. Her character was just fantastic. Just Viola Davis in general, I love. Any film she's in, she's like the center of attention. She can just captivate an audience, like Jared Leto and Joker. I'll get to that in a minute. But she was just ruthless in this film. Really ruthless. She just shot 5 people point blank without even hesitation. That's how wicked she is. She's more cruel than half of the inmates in Bellevue. I said that in my non-spoiler review, which is definitely true. Deadshot. I enjoyed his character a lot more than I thought I would, because when I saw him I thought, I'm not really gonna like his character that much. But when I watched it, I was like, wow, he is really cool. When he was in that shooting range and he was shooting all those dummies, it was really cool because he was shooting them in the head every single time, and it was just great. But I wonder if they'll do a Deadshot and Harley relationship thing, because that is the case in the comics and the animated films, and it was definitely alluded in here. So I don't know if in future films they're gonna really build upon that, make a love triangle. The next character is of course Harley Quinn, my absolute favorite character. Well, her and Joker are on the same level of my favorite characters. They are just Both they are just so captivating and so interesting characters, and I just love them so much. She was just glorious in every single scene. I absolutely loved her, and I think we can all agree that Margot Robbie is basically the Marilyn Monroe of the 21st century because of how, you know, beautiful she is and how amazing actress she is. But my favourite scene in the film was when we saw Joker and Harley Quinn dancing, and Harley had her original Jester costume on. That was when I was just so excited. I already seen it because Instagram spoiled it for me, but seriously, I absolutely love that scene. She just suits the costume so well. I wish we had seen like half of this costume and half of the Jester costume. I think that would have been a little bit more interesting. And speaking of that, I wish we had seen more missions, because it was just one long continuous mission through the entire film, and I think it would have been better if they did like tiny little missions, getting used to each other, getting used to their powers, and you know, getting used to getting back outdoors and like becoming well known. But she was really funny and witty with her one-liners, were fantastic, but she was also really sad and broken and damaged, and you could tell that when she was on the car crying, and then when everyone came out she was just acted all happy again. That was a really touching moment because it speaks to a lot of her personality, and I really did like that scene. But what I found odd was that we didn't get, this is going to sound so horrible and like I hate myself for saying it, but we didn't get the abusive relationship that we did in the comics and the animated series, which is kind of the fundamental factors of Harley and Joker's relationship. You know, the abusive relationship, the traumatic relationship that they have, which really wasn't in this film at all. It was just like the really lovey-dovey couple, which isn't really them. It's sometimes them, but it isn't like them all the time. And I know it sounds like I want them to have an abusive relationship. I don't. It's like, that's what made them so famous in the first place, that relationship that they had, that craziness that keeps them together and keeps Joker coming back for more. Now, last but not least, the Joker. He is definitely one of my favourite incarnations of the Joker. I just absolutely loved his take on the Clown Prince of Crime. He just really did this character justice. And the only problem was, and I think most of you have this problem as well, we saw I would say we saw about 15 minutes of him the entire film, which that is not what we came for. We came for about, you know, half of him being in the film and the rest of the Suicide Squad. But what we got was like that much of him, the rest was Suicide Squad, which makes sense because it's called the Suicide Squad. It's not called the Joker movie. I know that, but the way they advertised it and the way they promoted it, it made you think that it was a Joker film, and it really wasn't, though he shot enough scenes to make a full Joker film. So what will they do with those scenes? I hope to God that they make a Joker edition like they did the Ultimate Edition for Batman v Superman, because we saw more of him in the purple Lamborghini music video than we did in this bloody film. Though in saying that, what we did see in the film, I was just in a trance, because whenever he was on screen, you just directly looked at him. You would just focus on him because he was just so captivating as a role. And I think that's the main reasons why they didn't have him in too much of the film. They didn't want to draw too much attention to the Joker, and then you'd like not pay attention to the Suicide Squad. And all of my friends absolutely loved him as a Joker. They really didn't have any complaints about him and Harley. Anyway, I can't wait to see more of this universe, more of the Suicide Squad. You know, I hope they get new cast members in. I hope they get Poison Ivy, and that would be fantastic. And, you know, get more superhumans in there, get more metahumans. You know, I want to see like more powered up supervillains in the mix, and I think that would just make for a more visually interesting movie, because a lot of the cast members were human, and I think with the amount of characters in the DCEU, you know, it would be stupid not to put them in the Suicide Squad, the powered up characters, I mean. So in conclusion, I thought this was a really good, unique film, but it does have its problems when it comes to editing. Oh, and that's another thing. One thing that annoyed me the most was tell that the reshoots were apparent when Harley Quinn's hair was involved, and in one scene it would look wet and tatted, and in the other scene it would look dry and curled up, and like in the other scene it would look wet and tatted dried and curled up. That really took me out of the film, took me out of focus, and I just didn't like that at all. And you could definitely tell that it was the reshoots that did that. Still, great film, very rewatchable, and that's a good sign for the film when it's like so rewatchable. But I really want to hear your thoughts about it. Tell me down below what you thought of the film, and what was your favourite bit, what was your least favourite bit, what did you think of the film as a whole. Tell me down below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Bye.